they've given you the scenario, right? And it wants to know the height of the tree, show your work. So in this problem, they've already labeled the height of the tree as your h, or you can make that your x. It doesn't matter, but we know this is our height, the unknown. They gave us the angle, and they labeled the 75 feet from the base of the tree. So we start off circling the angle. The height of the tree is the opposite side, so that's the O, or you can put the word opposite, opposite, O, or opposite. The 75, what do we label that as? So I'm going to put an A where the 75 is. So label the given diagram. The X is O, the 75 is A. And then which trig function deals with an O and an A? Yep, O and A is tangent. So here's showing the work. You write the tangent of the angle 40 degrees equals opposite over adjacent. That would be X over 75, or H over 75. And now that I see this function or equation, this tells me how to solve it, because the variable is on top, which means you do what to solve? You multiply. So to get my x, I'm doing 75 times this tangent of 40. And we're going to round to the nearest hundreds. This is what you put in the calculator. Yes.
Thank you.
75 times the tangent of 40. Here's our answer on the calculator, right?
Yeah.
And then if I look in the packet and go back to the front page, do I see that answer anywhere?
There you go.
Here at the spot. We're going to check that one off. 62.93. Okay. We're rounding to the second digit. Okay.
Wait, huh?
Alright. Alright, go to number 3 with me. A building is 200 meters away from the cell tower. Someone stands at point B and measures the angle to the top to be 34. And they measure the angle from point B to the bottom to be 62. What is the height? So this is what we're trying to find. What is the height of the cell tower? Okay. So I need you to understand, in this diagram, our cell phone tower, that part right there, is from E all the way down to C. Okay. This is your cell phone tower. Okay, so I'm just going to write the two letters EC. EC is made up of two segments. It's made up this part ED, and it's also made up of the part from D to C. So to get EC, the whole tower, you're going to have to add ED plus DC. So I do need you to add that to your packet so you can understand how this is going to get broken down. There's two triangles in this diagram. Okay. If I start with the angle 34, that is the triangle from B to E to D. That is that triangle right there. And the distance down here, you see this 200 from A to C is the same distance from B to D. So I'm just gonna make sure we understand that that's 200 as well. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this small triangle, the blue triangle for me. And I need to find, I'm gonna label my EDX. So to find that segment, ED, I'm circling the 34. X would be the opposite, so it would be a O. The 200 would be the adjacent, so it would be an A. Yes, O and A is tangent. So tangent of 34 equals opposite X over adjacent, 200. And how do we solve for X? Look at the setup. Where's the variable? So what do you do when the variable's on top? So what are we writing?
200.
Yes. 200 times the tangent of 34. That's what you need to put in the calculator.
Is X equals 139.10?
9.
No.
139?
134.
134.
Yes, X is approximately 134.9. Okay, so now to do DC, I'm not going to make that the variable Y. And now I'm using triangle BCD. B to C to D. So this is 62. The Y is the opposite. And the 200 is still the adjacent. So it's still, yes, T, tangent. So you do tangent of 62 equals opposite over adjacent. Again, the variable's on top. So Y is approximately, gotta put this in the calculator.
Let's see if that's the.
Is it 370.1?
Look at that.
370 what? Yeah.
Or just like rounded or.
Oh, dang, I didn't mean to do that. Yes.
The only one that makes sense is 376.15.
Okay, so this is our X. This is our Y. We're doing basically back here, we're doing the X plus the Y to get the EC. Yes. The value of X plus the value of Y. And then we're going to go back and see if do we find that answer in this packet.
Yes. Oh.
Which one is it?
Extreme spouse.
Yeah. 511.
You missed the step. Yeah, you gotta add them, man.
Okay, so if we go now, I'm just gonna look at number 4 here. You're gonna have some pictures with no diagram. So 1, 2, and 3 has a diagram to it. 4 does not. So you have to just draw a generic right triangle. So we have basically there's a 6 mile intersection, 6 mile section of Interstate 5 that increases the 2,500 feet of elevation. That would be here. What is the angle of elevation? The angle is always above the horizontal line, or the angle is always created with the horizontal line.
Oh,
I know some of you just lost that because you're not paying attention. I'm not just writing stuff, I'm telling you so you have the understanding. Your angles on your drawings, if they ask for an angle of elevation or depression, doesn't matter. That angle has to be made with the horizontal line. This is the horizontal line. There's the angle being made. Our 6 mile section of interstate, that's the hypotenuse. But we have to change our miles to feet. It says right here, 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So how do I figure out what 6 miles would be? Yeah, 6 times the 5,280. I think it's not open anymore. It's 31 what?
21,280.
Okay, so this 6 mile is 30. Oh, damn. Okay, so I'm using my feet and my feet. Sorry. So if I look across the angle, the 2,500 feet is your opposite, and this is your hypotenuse. Yes, it is sine. Yeah, it's sine inverse. X is equal to the sine inverse of 2,500 over 31,680. Excuse me. And then you check your answer with the answer choices on the front. So
Oh, yeah.
now when I come to this next section here, that's not gonna let me unlock it, sorry. All right, so now we're back to no drawings here. You need to use right triangles, okay? So just make sure you're using, orientation doesn't matter. I can do the right triangle going this way, or you can do the right triangle going the other way. It just needs to be a right triangle, okay? If they give you 2 angles, so like I need you to jump to number 7. We have basically they're hovering helicopter 50 feet high with an angle of elevation 20 and 25. So what you're gonna have to do for this problem is you're gonna have 2 right triangles. 50 feet high, that's the vertical distance here. You're gonna have one with the angle 20, that's with the horizontal line, and X is your unknown, the horizontal. The other triangle is still gonna be vertical 50, but now your angle with the horizontal is 25, and now you're trying to find that horizontal, which is the Y. The question is asking how far apart they are. So when you're doing how far apart, that is subtraction. You have to subtract to get to your answer. Okay? So you're going to find each variable, but then you're going to subtract them to get to the final answer. All right, so on the last page, can I go to the last page now? Again, so now we're back to, they're giving you the diagram here. All right, like I don't know if you can see here, but you see how there's a 58 up here? That 58 will be down here as well, and they've already labeled the X. Okay, they've also labeled, I think it's over here, the height of the building. Can y'all see that? It's 8 feet, so this 8 would be here as well. Okay, so what they're asking you to do is find the distance between the base of the house and the base of the tree. Okay, so that means this distance on here, which is your X. There we go. So we need to just use trig to find that distance. Now, on 10, they drew the two angles of 29-degree elevation, no, 39-degree elevation, and then 29 degrees. So they want you to find the distance between the two boats. Okay. So in order to do that, I'm going to just draw the two triangles. For the 39 degrees, there's your angle of elevation. They gave us the height of the tower, that's 60 here. We're going to make this one X like that. I don't know if you can see that. But for the 29, look, I'm going to make it the whole triangle like this, down, and then all the way across. I don't know if it showed it. Sorry. Let's see. Down here is the whole thing, the whole bottom. I'll draw it in black. This distance, that whole thing right there, I'm making that variable y. Because for me to find the distance between the two, I'm just saying y minus x, and that would be the distance between the boats. So you need to do trig twice. One with 39, one with 29. So you are working as a group to get through these problems. This is a separate grade. All right. If you get an answer that's not on the front page, you need to check your work. You did something wrong. You can ask for help from each other, or you can ask for help from me.